Hello, my name is Brian Reed, and I work for Longyear as a historic preservationist. Over the first few weeks of our stay-at-home order, we figured out which projects would be best to work on from home, and then we tried to set up a shop that included the tools to make that happen. Once we realized just how much we could get done, we came up with a shop that really includes all of the tools that we need in order to take care of the homes from afar. One of the large ongoing projects at Longyear is the restoration of Mary Baker Eddy's home at 400 Beacon Street, Chestnut Hill, her last home. Our goal is to, as accurately as possible, restore each of our 8 houses to how Mrs. Eddy would have seen them. Fortunately, at this house we have much of the original furniture as well as many photos of how the rooms were arranged. For the furniture we don't own, we often acquire furniture from donations or antique shops or fairs. Sometimes we choose to build new reproductions. In looking at historic photographs taken while Mrs. Eddy was living in the house or just after her passing, we noticed that many of the rooms had matching bookcases. Unfortunately, we had just one of the originals and it was packed away in storage. We were able to use photographs and the height, width, and depth provided by our collections team to make scaled drawings. In order to check that the bookcase resembled the original and to practice different techniques, we built this full-size model out of pine. A project like this is special because we aim to replicate each aspect of the original: type of wood, type of joinery, color, and finish. That means we get to ditch the screws and nails of today's construction and put it all together with joinery and glue. Scrapbooks of historic photos in Longyear's archive show that the wood was quarter-sawn white oak. You can see these flecks and rays indicative of quarter-sawn oak. We chose white oak because it seemed we had a better chance of getting the right look than with more common red oak. To get the exact size and surface, we used rough sawn lumber. This meant that our first step was to mill the boards to the right dimension. We cut it roughly to the length using the miter saw. Then we flatten one face with a hand plane. Flatten the opposite face parallel with a machine planer. We straighten one edge with a joiner or track saw and cut a parallel edge with a table saw. Again, we used the miter saw to cut it to the proper length. To make the wide boards, we join narrower planks together using biscuits. Now we see it starting to take shape. We cut out the correct shape, give the pieces a finish sanding, cut our mortise and tenon joints, and make sure they fit together. Then assemble the final product, ready to be stained and finished. Now we have our sample bookcase in pine, prototype for 6 oak bookcases to come. We don't always go to this length to reproduce a feature. The Historic House team and their expert consultants evaluate each project with respect to its aesthetics, importance, and durability, all to restore a historically authentic picture of Mrs. Eddy's home, one that will be there for visitors for the next 100 years.